All right, here we go. Greetings, watchers and listeners. This is Voltgloss, streaming for posterity, another episode of the Arkham Horror Living Card Game campaign play-along of Edge of the Earth on the Mythos Busters Discord. I'm continuing my solo adventures of Charlie Kane and his entourage of birds, dogs, cats, and the occasional human. And we are now going to tackle this scenario, Fatal Mirage. We have just finished the Forbidden Peaks, so we're between Scenario 2 and Scenario 3, the City of the Elder Things. And this is our first opportunity to take Fatal Mirage, and probably the only time that I'm going to take it this campaign. We have 3 of the expedition team members deceased. This is our first opportunity to come in. Let's take a look at deck upgrades. We came to this scenario with 12 victory points to spend, and what I've chosen to do, I'm spending 5 on a second copy of Genet Beauregard, who is, of course, an excellent high-level multi-faction ally. More vital for the next scenario, City of the Elder Things, than this scenario, but I didn't want to lose the opportunity to put a second one in my deck before City of the Elder Things, where she is absolutely fantastic. I am dropping my Jeremiah Kirby to bring her in. I am slowly ramping up the deck to include high-level allies, dropping level 0 allies that I used in the initial scenarios. Jeremiah is fine, but at this point, when I spend a lot of resources to put an ally on the board, I want greater benefits than what he provides. Card draw is, of course, good, which is why I'm also spending 2 points to put in a second protecting the Anirnic. Ally assets get defeated and or discarded with somewhat frequency with this ally-heavy deck. As I mentioned at the Forbidden Peaks, although I don't think protecting the Anirnic saw play in that scenario, it triggers here not just upon ally being defeated, but also upon one being discarded, which means my stray cats, my mysterious ravens, and also the cats that Miss Doyle brings along, all have special effects upon being discarded. And Anu also can be discarded for a whole host of benefits all at once. Protecting the Anirnic lets me add on to those effects by drawing 3 cards. Or returning the asset to hand, but typically I'm using this for drawing 3 cards. And I am dropping my 2 copies of Toe to Toe. I have stronger enemy management options now between the Green Soapstone, Michael Lee, still have the machetes, and one and now a second copy of Blur. I am taking a second Blur as opposed to putting in, say, Brand of Cthulhu, because, well, I have the machetes for damage, I have the Soapstone, I have Michael Lee, and there are definitely large, chunky enemies in this and later scenarios in this campaign that are better handled with evasion rather than with fighting. Like a certain 3 fight, 5 health, 1 foot enemy that can show up in this scenario, for which I find Blur to be an excellent means of handling and getting my action refunded. In solo play, actions are maybe the most important resource, so something that lets me evade slightly better and then get that action back, yes please. Finally, I've spent my remaining 4 points, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, on upgrading my 2 emergency caches to emergency cache level 2. Again, we have a limited card pool for this play along. It is the revised core, the Investigator starter decks, Return to the Night of the Zealot, and the cards from the relevant campaign where that's being played. So here, obviously, Edge of the Earth. I have a lot of expensive cards, which is also why I am bringing Takata again as my partner. 3 emergency caches on a stick at the beginning of the scenario is very good. More economy in the deck is also very good. I still have my 2 copies of Voice of Ra. I don't know if I'm going to keep both of them for the remainder of the campaign, but I'm certainly using them now. And upgrading the E-caches to draw a card after you play them, it's not a very exciting upgrade, but it's good. It's good, and I'm happy to do it. So those are my 12 points spent. Let's delete the cards that are gone. Let's shuffle these into my fairly chunky deck, which is 45 cards at the moment, thanks to Memorials of the Lost. I have Claypool's Furs, Anu from Elia, and Dyer's sketches, all from our 3 deceased partners. And I also, unfortunately, have a 5 Tekeli Lees in the deck at the moment. So we'll just have to weather that particular storm. We are, of course, Fatal Mirage. We begin the scenario with just the Prison of Memories in play. Let's see if there's anything else setup-wise that we need to do. This is our first time playing Fatal Mirage, so I don't have to take an extra Frost token. William Dyer was the one who was killed in the plane crash, so there's no way that can be him, and yet there we see him, along with deceased Elia Ashvac and deceased Avery Claypool. Elia, who died heroically in battle with the Seeping Nightmares and other Eidolons in Isoda 3, and Avery Claypool, who unfortunately met his end climbing the Forbidden Peaks thanks to the Terror of the Stars. I don't think there's any other particular setup. We started the Prison of Memories. Right. Before beginning, a couple of other points I want to raise. I have 2 Frost tokens in the bag. 2 Skulls, 2 Cultists, since we convinced Dyer to let the expedition proceed at the beginning, and he promptly died for it. 1 Tablet, 1 Elder Thing, since we haven't started City of the Elder Things yet. Skulls are -X, where X is the number of story cards in the victory display, begins at 0. Cultist is -2. If you fail, drop a clue in your location. Tablets -3. If you fail, you must either move to the Prison of Memories, the starting location, or shuffle a Tekeli Lee into the deck. And Elder Thing is -4. If you fail, place a Doom on an Eidolon enemy in play. We begin with just the Prison of Memories. As a refresher for how Fatal Mirage works, as we get clues, we'll be able to flip the locations based on their Mirage values. So Prison of Memories is Mirage 1 per player. So I can spend 1 clue to flip this, and then I'll be able to place one of those 3 listed locations on the board. There are specific locations that I am gunning for, because there's 3 particular goals I have in mind. Goal number 1 is to make Takata resolute. I expect she's going to most likely be the partner that I'm bringing for the rest of the campaign. That early set of resources is just too valuable. And being able to make her resolute, while not as effective as some of the other make the partner resolute effects, like she doesn't become, her action ability doesn't then become like a free triggered ability, which is fantastic, but it does change 9 resources into 12, and that's meaningful. It also helps protect her from the remaining Tragedy Strikes instant kill effects that can happen in scenarios 3 and 4. Goal number 2 is to make Kensler resolute. If something untoward happens to Takata, I expect Kensler will be my second choice for bringing into scenarios. But more importantly, I am 2/3 of the way through visiting Kensler at each interlude to be able to unlock the special ending, which I've never actually done. But mechanically, more importantly, that protects, if I manage to do that, get on the road to unlocking that special ending, then I will dodge 1 very bad beat that can hit in the final scenario. And I'd like to avoid that if at all possible. Finally, if time permits, as a stretch goal, you can, of course, continue down the paths that lead to the deceased partners. Based on the locations that will already be in play, if I've managed to make Takata and Kensler resolute, the quickest path to another path for a deceased partner will be Elias. So if time permits, I will go down that path to finish things out and get another couple of victory points. If all goes well, that would be 4 victory points, maybe +1 if I have the Scrying Mirror in play. As a reminder for the campaign play along, I've taken the Ravenlord's Gambit, a community added contract you can take, which removes Stand Together from the available card pool. Doesn't bother me, I'm playing solo. And allows me to get an extra victory point for every scenario that I end with Scrying Mirror in play. I've managed to do this with each scenario to date. If I can do it again here, that's great. I also have as relevant here, let's see, I am of course continuing Jack of all trades, goal being to, over the course of the scenario, get at least 4 assets in play with classes that do not match classes among the cards I control at the time that I play them. I have cards of all different colors in this Charlie Kane You Can Take Any Ally in the Game deck, so hopefully this should happen naturally. It has so far. Charlie Kane, of course, can have 4 allies in play, so I've tailored the mat accordingly. Let's shuffle up the encounter deck. Let's shuffle up the Tekeli Lees. And let's start. Let's see what we get. Opening hand. Put this Tekeli Lee back. Let's put this Tekeli Lee back. Okay. Well, there's the scrying mirror I was talking about. Michael Lee, opening hand. I'm very happy with that. Mineral Specimen is excellent. Get 2 clues on Investigate. Mysterious Raven is a nice additional ally to have alongside Michael Lee, since 4+1 is my 5 starting resources. I certainly don't mind having Scrying Mirror available to play once my resources build back up. Really, I think the only thing I'm going to toss back is the Voice of Ra, since Takata is giving me resources at the beginning. This is something I'd want to draw later in this scenario. But yeah, let's see if we get another premium ally. The game really wanted me to start with a Voice of Ra in hand. That's fine. Okay. So, Prison of Memories, Shroud 1, since the agenda number is 1, and it will remain 1 this entire time. The higher agenda numbers show up if you revisit the scenario. I have a Doom track of 15. I can at any time, as a free triggered ability, take 1 horror to automatically move to the Prison of Memories. As a note, not only is that a free triggered ability, but also the effect that lets you spend clues to flip a location and resolve the other side is also a free triggered ability. This may be relevant in terms of when player windows exist. I may pull some shenanigans in terms of using player windows in the enemy phase or the upkeep phase to trigger one or both of those effects. So I think that's everything. All right. Let's get started. I'm going to lead off by spending 4 resources to play Michael Lee. So I now have +1 book and +1 fist. I am going to spend another resource to play my Mysterious Raven. And I think I'm going to investigate. So we're testing at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. 8, since Shroud 1, 8 on 1. -4, but that's still a pass. We get a clue. And then in the enemy phase, there are no enemies, but I'm going to spend that clue right away to flip this location. You wander for what seems like hours through the myriad reflections. The further you venture from where you arrive, the more distant reality becomes. There are many paths to take through the hallucination, places you recognize from your memories, and others you do not, taken from the memories of your companions. As the shape of the mirage changes around you, you consider which prison might be worse. The one that reveals its true deadly nature, or the one that hides it? We are now going to place the deck of the Theodosia. No, not that one. I've set them aside so that I don't mess this up. Base camp. Yes, base camp is what I want. So we'll put base camp in play. We'll flip this back over. But we're not going to move there right away. I would like to get these easy to get clues. Since base camp is Shroud 4, that's pretty high. Although technically it's Shroud 3, since if you fail by exactly 1, you can just pass and get a clue for the low price of taking 1 horror. If I can avoid that, great. All right, that was our first turn. No enemies. We upkeep into a Tekeli Lee. We lose an action. Well, that's not great, but it is what it is. Doom on the Doom track. 1 of 15. A Frenzied Explorer. And just play with 1 Doom on it. Well, in order to get this Doom turn into a clue, we would have to successfully evade him by 2 or more. Well, we're not super well equipped to do that right now. If I exhaust everything, this would be 3, 4, 5 against 2. I would need to get -1 or better. And I don't have any agility commits. But that's still better than killing him and letting that Doom drop on its location so that it's permanent. What's our chaos bag like? I mean, -1 is about half the bag. Just under half the bag. I mean, it's not great, but I think Oh, also, I did a successful investigate, which means Michael Lee should have an evidence on him. I mean, I could just kill the guy and eat the doom. I'd rather not. I'd rather turn this into a clue. Maybe we do the evade, and even if we don't over-succeed, we just move on. We will be circling back to the Prison of Memories, of course, as we move on through. That means I will need to get a clue at this Shroud 4 location, but with multiple intellect allies, that's not out of the realm possibility. So let's do this evade. Exhaust everybody. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 2. Cultist is -2. So we don't fail, but we also don't get rid of him. We just regular evade him. We will circle around and be back for you. Last action, since we lost one, we're going to move to the base camp. All right. Enemies, upkeep. Frenzied Explorer ready. He doesn't hunt or anything, does he? No, he does not. All right. We upkeep into second scrying mirror. I would like some more allies, and I'm not getting them yet. Well, whatever. Let's see. 2 + 1 is 3 out of 15 doom. Nightmarish Vapors. Lose 2 actions or shuffle 2 Tekelilis into my deck. I think I need the actions. I hate to shuffle Tekelilis in. This is really not a great deal. But we've already lost some tempo. And, well, I don't want to keep losing tempo. So I am going to shuffle the Tekelilis in. All right. Now, I think what we do here is play the mineral specimen and then investigate using it. So we'll be testing 6 against 4. Do I want to stay here? Assuming I pass this, do I stay here and get 2 clues? Does this exhaust? Does not. No, if I get 2 clues, then I'm just going to move. So 6 on 4, 9 on 4. I don't actually need that much because this will cancel frosts. 8 on 4. Skulls is 0, so we pass and we get 2 clues. Good. Now I'm going to spend 1 to flip base camp. Elia and his companion Anyu shimmer into view along the outskirts of the camp. Where have you been? Takata says, also appearing before your very eyes. It's foolish to venture out alone, Dr. Sinna joins in the scolding. Relax, I wasn't alone, Elia replies, his gloved hand gently petting Anyu's neck. The physician rolls her eyes and departs, but Takata remains, folding her arms across her chest. Still a lot to do before we head out, you know, she states. Elia sighs and nods. I know, just anxious. Something about this place, he trails off. Takata nods. Yes, I feel it too. Elia, you were right to feel anxious. We are, ultimately, if I do everything, follow all the memories. But for now, we're going to follow Takata's memories. We're going to put the coastal waters into play. Now, I could spend my other clue to also place, say, Riverview Theater into play for later. But just in case we run into issues getting through Kata's section, I'm going to hang on to that clue for now. So Michael Lee gets another evidence. And yes, I'm going to move. Move down to the coastal waters. Okay. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep to Kaylee Lee. I take a horror. All right. Tekeli Lee. 3 + 1 is 4 out of 15 doom, and we draw the Madness Within. Willpower 4 for each point you fail by. Shuffle the top card of the Tekeli Lee into your deck without looking at it. Well, I don't want four Tekeli Lees if I can at all help it. So I think I'm going to do everything. Use the mineral specimen one more time to get 2 clues here. Play the scrying mirror. Maybe play Voice of Ra to get resources. So, yeah, we're just going to tap everybody. So we're 2, 3, 4, 5 against 4. Not great, not terrible. -1, we pass exactly. All right. I'm going to use the mineral specimen again. I am going to save the last charge of this for when we are trying to make Kensler resolute, as it has a particular helpful use there. But for here, we're going to investigate. With Michael Lee's +1, we're testing 6 against 2. If I reveal a frost, I take a horror, but that won't be relevant here because I'll cancel any frost revealed. So 6 on 2. Skull is a 0. We pass, we get 2 clues. I am going to spend 2 of those clues, since this is Mirage 2, to flip the coastal waters. Hell of a test run, Cookie yells over the roar of the rushing wind. The 2 of them are up in one of Takata's aeroplanes. This must have happened just after she completed work on the first plane, before the lot of you set off toward the peaks and the events that ensued. Get used to it, Takata shouts in the pilot's seat. Weather's gonna be rough anytime we're in the air. Don't worry though, she'll hold. You see the grim co-pilot hold back a smile. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Takata chimes. Nah, Cookie lies. Just been a while is all. We're following Takata's memories. We're going to put the airfield into play. Okay. Now, the airfield, Shroud 4, but with Takata, only Shroud 2. So, not bad for investigating, but to investigate there, I have to spend resources. So, I'd rather avoid that, if at all possible. One moment. All right. So, I don't want to move in there yet. This does get me another... evidence of Michael Lee. So he's now full up to 3. All right. What is my plan for Takata's memory? Well, part of the plan is to play Scrying Mirror, so let's do that. And last action. Do I want to move in? I need at least one more clue. I don't have any further juice to investigate. I think I just play Voice of Ra. Get a resource, pull up 3, 4 more resources. All right, let's see what happens. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep into Miss Doyle. Ah, excellent. Excellent to see. Cat jump scare. Miss Doyle is from, of course, the Dream Eaters. The reason I have her is I have the isolated contract, which is only available if you are single player playing. You can add 1 card to your available card pool from any other campaign. Miss Doyle's who I've chosen because she is excellent for Charlie. All right, good. All right, 4 + 1 is 5 Doom. 2, 3. Yes, we're good. Another Frenzied Explorer.
Yay.
They really are, the Explorers do be frenzying. I think my play here is to just play Miss Doyle, eat 1 attack. Hopefully super evade it using the help of Miss Doyle and 1 of her cats. And then get 1 more clue. I think that's the play. So I'm going to play Miss Doyle. So the Frenzied Explorer hits me for 1 and 1. Ooh, what am I doing? Which I'll put on... Whoops. There we go. Which I will put on Michael Lee. He has 3 and 3 soak. Miss Doyle comes into play. And when she comes into play, I put 1 of her cat soldiers in play. Augur, the investigate 1. And the other 2 shuffle into the deck. Okay. So now we're going to evade this guy. We are at 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 2. And I want to succeed by 2 or more. A frost and a tablet. So that's a total -4. I do pass, but only by 1. So he's not gone, unfortunately. Well, I'll try again next time. Because I'm not going to move on from here. What I am going to do is investigate. With Augur, I investigate base 5. So with +1 from Michael Lee, that's 6. So I'm testing 6 on 2. -1's a pass, I get another clue. So I have the clues I need to spawn Takata's memory over in the airfield. But I want to do this first. Okay. There's no enemies that do anything. We upkeep. This guy readies and re-engages. Emergency cash, 3 resources and a card. We're at 5 + 2 is 7 doom. Miasmatic Torment. Takata is exhausted. And until I get rid of Miasmatic Torment, she'll be taking a damage or a horror at the end of my turn. Okay. All right. I want to get this evade to work. And I think this is a job for Scrying Mirror. And so I can see what my token is. -2. So to pass by 2, I need to get up to 6 on my evade. So we're at 1, 3. Do I use... Am I going to use... Hang on, before I do that. Am I going to use Augur this turn? Probably not. My turn is probably deal with this, deal with this, move. Yeah. I think that's the play. All right, so that means I will use... Well, yeah, get up to 6. So 3, 5, since Augur has a foot, and 6. Mysterious Raven. So I pass by 2. I get its clue. He's discarded. Okay. Can I deal with this? I would be exhausting... Come on. Michael Lee. We're testing 5 on 3. That's not bad. Yeah, we're going to try to test this Miasmatic Torment away. With Michael Lee, we're testing 5 against 3 using book. Ah! Tablets -3. That is a fail. I have to either move to the Prison of Memories or shuffle it to Kaylee Lee. I'm going to shuffle it to Kaylee Lee. I don't want to lose that tempo. That hurts. Takata's going to be taking a damage or horror. It's fine. I have med students. It's not the end of the world. I am going to move. We spend enough time on this side of the board. Hopefully, we'll be able to deal with her memory next. All right, so no enemies that do anything. It's the end of my turn. So Takata takes, well, she'll take a damage. She trips and falls, as my daughter says. So come on. Why is this not? Why is this not? He said. Copy. Paste. Whatever. Fine. No. 1 damage. My goodness. Technically difficult. Upkeep. And one thing I'm going to do in the upkeep step is spend 2 clues and summon flip this location. Because I don't want to draw the treachery that makes it so you need to spend extra clues or take damage to flip a location right before I'm about to flip the location. So let's flip this. We have 2 clues to spend. Airfield. A teenage girl shimmers into view. You recognize Takata's chestnut eyes and thin straight hair. Her cheeks are stained with tears and rain. She waves as the old rickety airplane takes off. You don't recognize the design. This must have been over a decade ago. Don't worry, kiddo. The man next to her grips her shoulder encouragingly. He'll be back soon, he reassures her. His voice soft with compassion. You'll see. Spawn the set-aside mystery? Mystery. Memory of a missing father at this location. There we go. Memory of a missing father. Fight 3, health 4, evade 4, retaliate. I deal a damage to it whenever I gain a resource, one or more resources while it's exhausted. You can either evade it and then resource it to death, or punch it to death, or some of 6 one, half dozen of the other. Now we're in the mythos. Oh, also I do my upkeep. A gang up! Oh, I have not been keeping track of my classes. Let's see. I have played... Oh, I think I have all 4. I have played blue and yellow in the sense of Michael Lee. I've played red, Raven, and Miss Doyle. And I've played purple in terms of Scrying Mirror. I've done my jack of all trades. And more importantly, its gang up can do 5 damage. I was prepared to do this the slow way. Hopefully now we can do this the fast way. 6 + 1 is 7 doom of 15. Glimpse the unspeakable. This scenario is really pummeling me with the Tekeli Lees.
The Kaylee's on my...
Tekeli's on my Lee. So I draw a Tekeli Lee to my playmat. It is take a damage. Fine. And then I shuffle it into my deck. Oomph. But now... oh, actually, Takata's still exhausted. She can't ready until I fix this Miasmatic Torment. All right. Time to play. Spend 3 resources to play Gang Up. I am swinging at 6 against 3. And I'll deal 5 damage.
Because you won't... I want a name of the yellow guy and a couple of cats.
Yes, with Michael Lee, a cat. Michael Lee, 2 cats and a bird, and Takata. Let's see. Do I exhaust Augur to make this so that I succeed on everything but auto fails? I think that might be a good idea, but let's think what else is going to happen this round. I would love then to also be able to finally evade away this Frenzied Explorer, for which I'd want to keep commits. No, I'm going to use the Scrying Mirror here, because I have another one if I need it, and see if I need to commit anything at all. Frost into a tablet. So that's a total -4. So I need to get up to 7. I'm currently swinging at 6. So I need to add 1. I'll use the Raven. So I'm swinging 7 on 3. And we pass, and it's defeated. He never did come home, Takata whispers, choking on her words. I spent my whole life following in his footsteps. I thought if I did, maybe. She wipes the tears and inky miasma from her eyes. He's gone forever. In your campaign log, record Takata has confronted her demons. Draw a check mark next to her name, and now she's resolute. I could advance the act, but no, we're going to keep playing. I swap her with her resolute version. Now, sadly, she's still afflicted by this miasmatic torment, and she still has this 1 damage. Yes, she tripped and fell. Come on, what's happening here? Clear this off. Get rid of this version. Put her up here. Come on. Technically difficult. All right. Fine. So if I do this super evade, then I'm not getting rid of this. But I could still wait to get rid of this until next turn. I think that's fine. She'll take a horror this time, and then she's just 1 medical student play away from getting fixed up. So I'm going to use the special ability on the, on the agenda to take a horror, move to the Prison of Memories to save an action. Yes, that's fine. So that then this Frenzied Explorer engages. And now we're going to attempt evade with better numbers. We're at 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 against 2. Tablet's -3, but we were up by 5. So we have passed by, or exceeded by 2. We get his doom turned into a clue and he is discarded. Good. I was nervous. I was nervous that I was going to draw Abandon the Madness, which adds doom and makes that test even harder. Because if that stacks up, oh boy, is that not a fun time. Finally, I could move on. I could move on, or I could stay here to plan to get clues next round. If I stay here, then I'll play eCash. There is one reason not to play eCash, and that's just in case I draw into Burden of Leadership while all my allies are exhausted. I think I'm going to move on. The next destination we're going to is Shroud 1 and has plenty of clues to pick up. And we have 2 clues already. So we're going to move. We're going to move back to base camp. And in the enemy phase, I'm going to spend 1 to flip it again. This time, we're going to put the Riverview Theater into play. We're following Cinna's memories, but more importantly, they will lead us to Kensler. Okay. Takata takes a horror this time.
Trips on. Falls mentally.
She falls mentally. She remembers that she fell on a rock and is upset about that. Fine. No enemies. We upkeep into Bonnie Walsh. Ah, excellent. Excellent. 7 of 15 Doom. Dark Aurora. Willpower 3. For each frost revealed, take a horror. If you fail, take 2 horror. Okay. How much do I want to throw into this? Let's see. I mean, I could mirror it. I could mirror this, see how much I want to throw in. Because then the rest of my round is Bonnie Walsh finally removing this and getting a clue. No. And then moving. Well, maybe getting a clue. Actually, no. If the rest of my round is Bonnie Walsh... No, yes. Bonnie Walsh getting rid of this. So with Bonnie Walsh, I'll be able to test 5. If I use her to do Michael Lee, 6, 7, 8. 8 against 3, that should take care of that. And then if I just move... The Charlie dance is very much a dance of deciding when to use your limited resources to take tests versus when to spend actions on non-test things like moving. So this all tells me, yes, I can exhaust a whole bunch of folks to pass this test. I don't need to use my mirror here because with Bonnie Walsh, I'll get back what I need for the one other test I plan to take this round. So we are at, oh, and she's still exhausted. I forgot. So, right. We're at start at 1, 3, 5. Nope. 3, 5, 6, 7 against 3. -4. We passed exactly. That's how you do it. First action, 3 resources, we play Bonnie Walsh. Second action, we're going to test this Miasmatic Torment with Book. 2, 5, we ready Michael Lee. 6, 7, 8 against 3. Elder Things -4, but we still pass. Don't take away one of Takata's supplies, please. Thank you very much. And last action, we move. We move to the Riverview Theater. Mirage 2, to flip this, Shroud 1, 4 clues. When I draw it to Kaylee Lee here, it hits twice, then I get a clue here. That's a little bit spooky, given the Kaylee Lee's in my deck, but what's the worst that can happen? We're about to find out. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into the Miasmic Crystal. I was just talking about fear of Kaylee Lee's, and now this is, of course, the best protection against it that I could hope for. Good. Mythos, 8 of 15. Wow, that's it. Well, okay. So I was about to say, well, that's a kick in the teeth because I want these clues. But the effect of Polar Mirage is that once I get clues here, I have to discard every card in my hand and then discard the Polar Mirage. I don't have many cards in my hand. So maybe this round is play the Miasmic Crystal, play the Emergency Cache, play something else. Or if I don't care too much about what I get, maybe just get a clue. And I would discard the second Scrying Mirror, but that's okay. I don't want to do the double clue. I'm saving this for when I deal with Kensler's memory. For reasons that will readily become apparent. So, yes, we are going to play the Miasmic... No, that's a Raven. We're going to play the Miasmic Crystal as to Kaylee Lee protection. We're going to play Emergency Cash to get 3 resources and draw a card. Guard Dog. You know what?
I didn't think
Charlie Kane is definitely an animal guy. Part of me is thinking, well, Guard Dog is another... Guard Dog plus Mineral Specimen is an answer to Kensler's Memory. Of course, if I played him, I'd have to ditch... I mean, it would be the Raven that I'd play over. Which is a shame I can't immediately discard it to get a clue. But if I use it to get a clue, then I lose the Guard Dog. And Guard Dog is kind of perfect for the tempo I need. Nah, you know what? We're gonna play the Guard Dog. I'm gonna discard the Raven, play the Guard Dog. We didn't take any tests that round, but this is perfect for Kensler. Fine. No enemies. We upkeep into a Voice of Ra. See that? I don't mind discarding that. We're at 9 of 15 Doom. A Horrifying Shade. So, 3 fight, 3 health, 3 evade. When it's at a location that's cleared of mirages, it loses aloof. Otherwise, it's aloof, and it is a hunter. And whenever I discover, take control of clues at its location, I have to put Doom on it. So this location is not cleared of mirages. I only need, technically, I only need 1 clue here. But, well, no. I could finagle this so that I only have to put 1 Doom on this at the moment. And then it'll be a problem for the future. But a problem that I can... that I can effectively resolve, I do think. I just need to keep an eye on the Doom. All right, so what do we do this round? If we get a clue here, discard our hand, then we can spend the 2 clues to reveal Kensler's Lab. We move their second action. We would need to get 2 more clues. So I'd get another clue next round. The Shade will follow in. I get a clue, then it will engage. It's not ideal, since I'm not... Well, I have Guard Dog. Okay. No, this through line will work. All right. So, first, we're going to investigate. Right. It's Shroud 1. So we're at 2, so we'll use doesn't matter. We'll use Michael Lee, so we're 5, and Guard Dog, so we're testing 6 on 1. Cultist is a -2. We pass. We get a clue. A Doom goes on the Horrifying Shade. That's fine. I'm going to spend these 2 clues to flip the Riverview Theater. Oh, and I discard my cards, and Polar Mirage goes away as well. Okay. Riverview Theater, thank you for inviting me here, Dr. Cinna. Dr. Kensler says quietly, her outline shimmering into view. She and Dr. Cinna sit next to one another in the almost empty theater. The lights are dim and the curtain drawn, but the show has not yet begun. Of course, and just Mala is fine. Kensler flinches and clears her throat. Then call me Amy. I already do. The physician replies as a screen in front of them kindles to life. We are following Dr. Kensler's memories to put her office into play. And then we are going to move there. So it's Shroud 3. After successfully investigating here, I have to either take a horror or remove a secret from an asset I control. I was hoping to use the Mineral Specimen Well, if I just get one clue here, next round, Shade comes in, I get another clue, I spawn it, I can move to the center automatically, mineral specimen, fight. Okay, no, this will work. This will work. We're going to investigate again. We're going to use Augur to investigate at base 6. With Miss Doyle, that's 8, so 8 on 3. Skull's now a -1, but we pass. We lose a secret. I think that's from the mirror. Yes, we'll lose a secret from the mirror. It's fine, and I'll get a clue. Okay. Enemies. The horrifying Shade moves in. It's just hovering there menacingly. And we upkeep. The Rod of Animalism. A little late. Little late. I may upgrade out of this. If I can get some charismas, I may replace the Rod of Animalism with some higher level card. But that's a future problem for future me. We're at 10 plus 1 is 11 out of 15 Doom. Oof, a Primordial Evil. That throws a wrench in my monkey. So if I evade this, which of course is the play, get a clue, I can spawn. I think the end result. No. This is doable. This is doable. We are going to evade this. We're testing 1-on-1, and I am going to mirror. The only other test I'm taking this round is an investigate. No. I also do want to take a fight. No, I'm going to mirror. Use my last secret to mirror this. That means I will take a horror when I get the clue here. But I've got soak for it. It's fine. It'll be fine. We're mirroring this 1-on-1. A +1. Don't need to throw anything else at this. That's the beauty of the mirror. We're going to evade this guy. Now we're going to investigate. We're going to use Augur. So we're testing 6 against 3. 8 on 3. +1's a pass. We get a clue. I have nothing with secrets anymore, so I have to take a horror. That's fine. Charlie still doing okay, comparatively speaking. Now, whole bunch of nonsense is about to happen. Because I'm going to spend these 2 clues, and I'm going to flip this location. Dr. Kensler sits at her desk, struggling to focus on her work. Various papers sit in neat piles around her, and the bookshelf is perfectly ordered, just as you would expect from the professor. But the journal she writes in is cluttered and unkempt. She runs her hand through her hair, undoing her ponytail. No, she mutters, ripping a piece of paper from the book. You spot a photograph serving as a bookmark, keeping her page as she shuts the journal angrily. She opens one of her desk drawers and throws the crumpled paper inside, barely noticing the way the drawer bubbles over with miasma and the putrid gray mist emanating from within. So, we spawn the memory of an unrequited love at this location. The miasma is the bubbling, smoky, milky clouds of ichor that is most of the bad stuff that we're fighting against in this campaign. I'm explaining to my daughter what the edge of the earth is all about. Now, this location is now cleared of mirages because the memory is in play. So, the Shade loses aloof, so it engages me as well. This is by design. Right. Because we're gonna eat that thing. And then trust in guard dog and the soak of our allies. All right. Now, I'm going to take a horror to go back to the Prison of Memories. Mainly so that I'm getting the heck away from this primordial evil. So this one I'm going to put on, let's see. I'll put this on Miss Doyle. Memory of unrequited love, 4 shroud, 3 health, 3 evade. Alert. So if you evade and fail, it hits you. After you discover one or more clues at its location, you deal that much damage to this enemy. That's why I've kept the mineral specimen. So I could now mineral specimen. They will both attack for 1 and 1. I would put 2 on the guard dog, so it would deal a damage back to each of them. She has unrequited love for Dr. Malasina. I would need to take 2 horror. 1 on Michael Lee, 1 on Bonnie Walsh. And this is gone. Now, there we go. Alternately, I could attack the horrifying shade using an evidence from Michael Lee, which would do 2 damage. Then when the shade hits, it will die from the guard dog. Memory on credit level hit, take a damage in the guard dog. And then next round, I could finish it. I might go to evade it first. I think that's the play. We're going to attack the horrifying shade. We're going to use Michael Lee. Nope, we're not getting rid of his horror as much as I would like to do that. So that if we land the hit, we deal an extra damage. We're swinging at 2 against 3, 4 on 3, 7 on 3, 10 against 3. -2 is a pass. We do 2 damage. I don't know why my copying and pasting is not working. I don't know. I really don't know what's happening here. Usually I just copy and paste this, but whatever. 2 damage. Enemy phase. So I get hit. This hits me for 1 and 1. This hits me for 1 and 1. I'm going to put 2 of that damage on guard dog. And 1 horror each on Bonnie Walsh. And on Michael Lee. The guard dog does a damage back to each of them. 1 damage defeats the shade. And then there is 1 damage on the unrequited love. And we're in upkeep. The primordial evil readies. And we get protecting the Anirnic. Perfect. When guard dog inevitably bites it, or somebody bites it, which, you know, could certainly happen coming up. Mythos, we're at 11 out of 15. Abandoned to madness. This is not a possessed enemy. So I have to pull a possessed enemy from the deck. Which is fine. I'm going to pull out a Lost Researcher so that I can spawn it at a empty location, and specifically at the base camp. So it'll be harder to parlay, but definitely something that we will be able to do. All right. So if I get the 2 clues here, this is why I left 2 clues, the Prism Memories, with the mineral specimen. That will defeat the memory of an unrequited love. If I don't evade it first, it will hit me for another damage and horror. The horror will need to defeat an ally unless I let Charlie Kane go to Danger Zone or put it on Takata, which I'd rather not do. I could just put it all on the guard dog. And then the guard dog will be defeated. I can play Protecting the Anirnic to draw 3 cards. And I think that might be the play. And then I can move in and I can parlay the Lost Researcher. Yes, I think that's the play. So we're going to use the mineral specimen to investigate. This hits me for 1 and 1. I will put it on the guard dog. I'll do a damage back to it just in case the investigation auto fails. Guard dog is defeated. I spend a resource to play Protecting the Anirnic and draw 3 cards. Machete and 2 close the circles. Well, here's all my extra actions suddenly, and this would have been handy earlier, but it's fine. Everything's fine. This may give me the needed burst of energy I need to finish off Elias' path before Doom ticks over. But now we do the mineral specimen investigate. We are testing 6 against 1. We don't need anything else, so we're just gonna do it. I summoned the auto fail. Like a maroon.
Like I did.
Well, that's our 7th auto fail versus 3 Elder Signs, but all is not lost. Guard Dog did an extra damage to it, so I just now need to punch it once. So we're going to do that. Let's see. We're testing 2 against 4. And then I'm going to be playing Close the Circle, and I think... Well, with Close the Circle, I could do another Investigate. So let's see. We're testing 2 against 4. Yeah, Michael Lee, 5 against 4. Bonnie Walsh, 8 against 4. I'll do Miss Doyle as well, 10 against 4. -1. 1 more damage, it's defeated. Dr. Kensler, the real one, eyes you coldly. This memory is not for you, she warns. Though I suppose you have no more control over this than I do. You cannot help but be a little curious what kind of academic work would rattle somebody like her, so you ask. It was not academic in nature, she confesses, running her hand idly along the vision of her office desk, before pulling the photograph out from inside the journal and examining it in private. I was never very skilled in expressing myself in matters of the heart, she says. And the photograph fades in her hands along the rest of the Mirage. Come along, I do not wish to remain here any longer. Dr. Kensler has confronted her demons, now she's resolute. Victory won. I could advance the act. I'm going to try to get one more path, Elias' path, for that 2 extra victory points. I think we can do it. And to start, we're going to play Close the Circle. We have in play red, blue, and yellow, purple. So we get 4 charges on Close the Circle. Hold on. Hold on. Rewind that. Because I just realized if I do that, then I'm going to get bum rushed by this primordial evil. But if I move, don't do anything else, then I'm going to get bum rushed by this lost researcher, who of course does less damage. No, I can. Ha 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 ha. No, I'm going to pull some nonsense. I am going to play Close the Circle. It does come out with 4 charges. In the enemy phase, the primordial evil does move in and engage me. But then, in the player window, after hunter enemies move and enemies engage, I can use Close the Circle to evade it. Now, if this works, I will still need to evade it again next round to get away from it. But by doing this, I avoid taking 2 damage in a horror. So we're going to do that. Use Close the Circle. Testing 1, 3, 5 against 1, 6 against 1. +1's a pass, it's evaded. Player windows. Lost researcher hangs out. We're in upkeep. Everything readies. To Kaylee! Good thing I have my miasmic crystal. Do I want to use it on this? It's only a damage. But I would like another card. So yes, I will use this to cancel the Takeli Lee. Draw another card. A med student. Good. I'll heal Takata. Mythos, we're at 12 plus 1 is 13 out of 15. We gotta move. I do need clues. We can do this. We can do this. Polar Mirage. All right, well, I guess I don't want these clues. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. I can deal without those clues. We're going to get a clue from parleying the researcher. I remove... I think Michael Lee should have a second evidence on. He had 3. I used 1 on the horrifying shade. I don't know where he lost 1. Somewhere in the shuffle. But I did not use him on Kensler's memory. So anyway, we are going to evade. And is there any reason not to do this with my close the circle action? And I think the answer is no, there is not. Because you're going to evade, move, parlay, spend a clue, move, evade, move, parlay, play second, close the circle, move. Yeah, I need the actions. All right. So we're going to use close the circle. We're going to do this evade. We're testing 1, 3, 5, 6 on 1. Skull is now a -2. That is a pass. It's evaded. Okay. Now we're going to move into the base camp. So this character is a parlay 4 test. We are going to parlay. We're testing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9, 10, 11 on 4. -4 is a pass. We get this Doom as a clue, and it's discarded. Spend 2 resources to play my other close the circle. Again, I have blue and yellow. I have red. I have purple. So 4 charges. Enemy phase. During the enemy phase, I'm going to spend this clue to place the last location here, which is the deserted station. And I'm going to use close the circle during the enemy phase to move there. Upkeep. The primordial evil readies. We upkeep into paranoia. I was down to 0 resources. Perfect. 13 out of 15 Doom. I have 2 rounds to get 4 clues. I have to accomplish 4 clues and a move that will cost an extra action. But I've got effectively 5 actions to do it with my 2 close per turn with my 2 close the circles. Let's see if we can do it. Obscuring fog. Really? So this looks like a terrible thing, but so Alaskan Wilds gets +3 shroud when there's a treachery attached to it. Obscuring fog raises the shroud to 2. So right now this location has a whopping shroud of 8. But I could discard Augur to get an automatically successful investigate. And then that will discard the obscuring fog, and this will come back to shroud 3. I don't like having to discard Augur, but I think that absolutely has to be the play. I guess, although let's think. By exhausting Michael Lee, and then Bonnie Walsh, and then Michael Lee again, now that gets me up to 8. I then need to get higher than that. No. We're first action, we are discarding Augur to automatically succeed. Whoop. Don't ask me what that was. I get a clue. The obscuring fog goes away. All right. Second action. Let's think this through. I can close the circle to get another clue here. Then I can spend them to place the next location. It takes an extra action to get into the next location. Or I take it to Kayla Lee, which I don't want to do. I could do it, close the circle and spend an action. Then I have one more action in the next location where I could potentially get one more clue. Do I have enough boosts to investigate twice this round? I'd be investigating base 2. They're both shroud 3. So I could get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then for the other one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I absolutely can. All right. We are going to investigate using close the circle. We're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 3. Skull's a -2. That's a pass. We get a clue. I'm going to, as a free triggered ability, spend those 2 clues. When Elia materializes into view, you are stunned to see him without his steadfast companion on you. He holds an unfamiliar woman's hands, her wavy hair the color of a brilliant ruby. The 2 young lovers stare into one another's eyes as the old train approaches. How long do you think you'll be gone? I'm not sure, he confesses. It is a lengthy journey. Alaska is a hell of a big place. So this is goodbye then, the woman says. She wipes angry tears from her eyes. Will you write? I'll try, but he glances away. Right, she says, understanding. The train pulls into the station, its piercing squeal muffling their words. You fool. She leans up and kisses his cheek. You're a fool, Elia. I know. Put the Alaskan Wilds location into play. She was right. He was a fool. All right. Free shroud, 2 clues. 2 clues to flip. As an additional cost to enter, I have to either shuffle the top Tekeli into my deck or spend an action. And we are going to use close the circle to move in and spend an extra action to move in. And then finally, we're going to investigate one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready, Michael Lee. 6, 7, 8 against 3. -2 is a pass. We get a clue. I need just one more clue next round. And then we're done. The primordial evil moves in the enemy phase, but I'm way far ahead of it. It can only move to the base camp. And we upkeep. On you. Just in time to not be played. That's fine. All right. Mythos, 14 out of 15. Our last round. What do we get? Evanescent Mist. Add 2 clues here. To flip it over, I need to spend either 2 extra clues or take 2 damage. Thankfully, Charlie can take that 2 damage. All right. So let's get this clue. And then, before we end, I can play the medical student to heal up Takata and then be done. So we're going to investigate. We're going to use close the circle to do it. We're testing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 3. We finish off with an Elder Sign. Already, Michael Lee. It doesn't actually matter. I get a clue. And then I will spend 2 resources to play the medical student to heal the damage and horror that was on Takata. And now we spend our 2 clues. Actually, hold on. Before we spend our 2 clues, there's one last thing. I could draw some cards in an effort to get rid of Tekeli Lees from my deck. Normally, this would be extremely dangerous, since I have the miasmic crystal. But since I have the miasmic crystal, I can cancel them. I would really... How many Tekelis are in the deck? There's 16 total. Wow, there's still 6. I would love to get one out if I can. All right, we're going to use Close the Circle to draw a card. It's Hope. All right, we're going to spend action, draw another card. It's Zeal. That's really hilarious. They were back to back. All right, while technically I could draw one more and then trigger the flip in the enemy phase before the round ends. Just in case this somehow cascades into a Tekeli Lee that, like, I can't cancel, that makes me drop a clue, and therefore ends everything, I'm just going to accept the Tekeli Lees in the deck, and I'm going to spend the 2 clues, and I'm going to flip this location over. Elias sits huddled up against a tree, a torrent of snow falling around him. In his arms, Anu whines. Blood soaks his gloves, staining the dog's fur red as he holds her tight. I know, girl, he chants. I know. We're going to be okay. You and me, girl. Anu, right? That was your name? The dog peers up into his eyes. We'll be okay, Anu, I promise you. Elias crossed out. So we move to the Prison of Memories. We discard every card attached here. We add this card to the victory display. I do take 2 damage from the Evanescent Mist, but that's fine. And then I will advance the act. Everything is indeed fine. And we advance the act. Understanding sets in. Dream though it may be, this place is like a nexus of minds, a place within the miasma where thought is material, where madness is embodied, deeper mysteries. As you ponder the deeper truths that might have taken shape in this maze of horrors, a door appears just in the periphery of your sight. The same door you once used to trap yourself in this hellish place. Perhaps there are more mysteries to discover here, but for now you've seen enough. You open the door, resolution 1. And there we go. That's Fatal Mirage. Resolution 1. You tumble through the doorway and onto your sleeping mat, flailing within your tangle of warm blankets. No door shuts behind you. Did you only imagine all of that, or was it all real? Is there a difference? So, then I'll record in the log the story cards obtained. I get experience. I get victory 1, plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 1 extra for scrying mirror. I get 5 experience. Just enough for a second copy of Michael Lee heading into City of the Elder Things. If that's what I spend it on, I'll need to give that some thought. Takata and Kensler are resolute. And next time we move on to City of the Elder Things. All right. There we go. I'm quite pleased with how that worked out. I am happy that we sort of got a chance to see everything that the scenario can throw at you. The big chasing enemies, the horrifying shade, all the Tekelili nonsense. I think we didn't see anamnesis, which is a treachery specific to this scenario, which is either put a doom on the agenda or take to horror. Certainly horror was the key pressure point here, but I was finally able to get the burst of power that I needed from those premium allies. I didn't see Janae Beauregard, that's fine. Didn't see Leo DeLuca, that's fine. But we made do with what we had. The supplies, the mineral specimen, the miasmic crystal were handy. I guess the miasmic crystal only once, but that's fine. All right, so that's that. Next time around, it will be City of the Elder Things. Until then, good luck out there with your own endeavors, your own campaign play-alongs. Take it easy, everyone.